Welcome to Dr. Balga's podcast for the curious doc. Today is 3rd June 2026. This video is on a Nature article published 2 days ago on 1st June titled Passive Heart Rate Monitoring During Smartphone Use in Everyday Life. There is an associated clinical briefing in the same issue of Nature. Resting heart rate is a major biomarker of cardiovascular health and mortality. Wearables enable longitudinal tracking, but adoption remains limited. Investigators developed passive heart rate monitoring, a smartphone camera-based deep learning system using facial video remote photoplethysmography. 192,353 videos from 485 participants were developed. For validation, 162,546 videos from 211 participants were utilized. 104 participants from a laboratory, mean age 51.3 plus or minus 14.8 years. 68.3 were women. Prospective free living study was done in 107 participants in a test cohort. Mean age 37.9 plus or minus 11.4 years. 53.3% were women. 8-day passive monitoring after screen unlock events was conducted. Reference standards ECG for heart rate and wearable tracker for daily resting heart rate. Primary metrics, mean absolute percentage error and mean absolute error, non-inferiority across skin tone groups. What did they find? Laboratory validation. Participant level mean absolute percentage error was 5.65%, p-value less than 0.001 versus 10% accuracy target. Free living validation participant level, the mean absolute percentage error was 6.09%, p-value less than 0.001. Skin tone groups 5.04%, 5.12%, and 7.84%. The mean absolute percentage error for all groups was less than 10%, p-value 0.001. Daily resting heart rate, the participant level mean absolute error was 4.39 beats per minute, p-value less than 0.001 versus 5 beats per minute target. Resting heart rate correlated with wearable derived resting heart rate, R values equal 0.87, p-value less than 0.001. Higher BMI was associated with higher resting heart rate, p-value equals 0.0007. Higher VO2 max was associated with lower resting heart rate, p-value less than 0.0001. Limitations of the study: lower measurement success in darker skin tone group, motion, talking, and lighting reduced signal quality, battery consumption considerations were not optimized. Clinical utility for disease monitoring remains to be tested. Key takeaways: smartphone-based passive heart rate monitoring achieved industry-level accuracy. Daily resting heart rate estimation was accurate and physiologically meaningful, potentially scalable, equitable alternative to wearable-based heart health tracking. Clinical pearls: this is the first large-scale demonstration of passive heart rate and resting heart rate monitoring during ordinary smartphone use. Accuracy standards: the ANCI CTA accuracy standards were achieved in all skin tone groups. Outperformed 15 contemporary remote plethysmography models. Passive daily resting heart rate showed excellent correlation with wearable derived resting heart rate, R equals 0.87. Reproducibility exceeded conventional single time point resting heart rate measurements. Obesity increased resting heart rate. Greater cardiorespiratory fitness lowered resting heart rate. Accuracy improved over successive days as the Kalman filter converged. Future applications may include longitudinal cardiovascular surveillance, atrial fibrillation screening, and heart rate monitoring. Privacy preserving implementation will require informed consent and on device processing. Smartphones may democratize access to cardiovascular monitoring worldwide. This is an infographic on the study. Hit pause and read at your leisure. Addendum: in this Nature study, the Kalman filter was a key step that transformed many noisy smartphone heart rate measurements into a clinically meaningful estimate of daily resting heart rate. The algorithm was originally developed by Rudolf Kalman in 1960. It is widely used in GPS navigation, aircraft guidance systems, autonomous vehicles, wearable devices, medical signal processing, and financial forecasting. The Kalman filter is a math algorithm that combines multiple noisy measurements over time to estimate the most likely true value of a variable. Podcast brought to you by masterbedfacts.com. This podcast is for physicians and healthcare providers. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and forward to your friends.